Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Docker has introduced MCP Catalog and it will solve a lot of problems. We know that MCP is like a USB. When we need any extra feature to add in our application, then in that case we use the MCP and it will solve that problem. But the problem is that when we are using that MCP, we have to do the manual setup. Suppose you are using this GitHub MCP or this Playwright MCP or this Context 7 MCP. In that case, you have to manually copy this code from that official site and paste it here, right? And also here you see that you are providing this access token. See, for this GitHub, you are providing this GitHub access token in this settings.json file. So basically you are exposing your personal token to third-party software. So this is a basically security issue, and Docker is solving that problem. How? Let me show you. Here you see that Docker MCP Catalog is a centralized, trusted registry for discovering, sharing, and running MCP compatible tools and seamlessly integrated into Docker Hub. So for that, you need to install the Docker desktop. And here you see we have this MCP toolkit on the left hand side. There you will find one menu. Now how to do the setup? So stay with me till the end. I will show you step by step. Now see here that under these MCP servers, we have many popular MCPs that they have added, like Context 7 is there, and also if I search here this GitHub, so here you see GitHub is also there. All of these MCPs you will find in one place, and you have to do the configuration only one time. Okay, so for this Context 7 and this GitHub, and if you are using any AWS, so you need only one time configuration. You don't have to manually copy and paste this 4 times, 5 times the MCP that you are using. I hope you got the idea. Now how to do the setup? So for that, first of all, go to Google and search this download Docker desktop, and just go to this website, install Docker desktop, and according to your operating system, Windows, Linux or Mac, download that. After that, install that. It is a simple procedure for installing, and after that you will find this kind of interface, and on the left hand side you will find this extension menu, and under this extension you will find this kind of interface. And here you see that there are many things that they have listed, but we are interested to go for the MCP. So just type here MCP and you will find this Docker MCP toolkit. Okay, now what you will do, click on this install. So as I have already installed, that's why it is showing open here, but for your case you will see install button here. So click on this install, and after that on the left hand side you will find this MCP toolkit option. Now go there, and here you will find these two things. One is the MCP server, another one is the MCP client. Follow my cursor, and under this MCP server you will find all of that server that you are interested. So here you see that context 7 is there. Okay, now if I go my cursor, or with VS Code or with WindServe, you will be able to use it. Okay, so let me show you that procedure. Now follow my cursor. Beside this MCP server we have this MCP client, and under this we have this Jordan and this Cloud desktop, cursor, continue.dev. And currently this WindServe or VS Code is not listed here, but you can use it through this link. So below there will find this link. Follow my cursor. This is the link that you have to copy and paste, and you are good to go. So I will show you all of these things with WindServe, cursor and VS Code. So first of all, as cursor is present here, let me click on this connect. So here you see, as I have clicked on this connect, it is showing disconnect. Now here inside this cursor you will find this MCP underscore Docker. This is the MCP tool got enabled. Now if I go to this edit, here you see MCP underscore Docker, one run command got added, and this is the one-time setup that you have to do. And after that, if you want to add any MCP, in that case you don't have to copy and paste the MCP code here. You just have to turn on that MCP inside this Docker. Here you see beside each and every MCP you will find this turn on and turn off option. So just turn on this whenever you want to use that, and when your work will be finished you can turn off that here manually. and the advantage that you will get that it will not consume much computing resources. And let's say suppose I want to use one of the MCP, the popular MCP is the GitHub. Okay, let me show you one thing in cursor that here you see under this MCP Docker it is showing that 0 tools enabled, right? Means I have not turned on any MCP till now. Now if I go to this Docker desktop and here if I search this GitHub, and here you see many GitHub MCP got are showing here, and I am interested for this GitHub official. So if I turn on this, and in that case it will ask for the configuration token, so provide that token here under this configuration tab. I have already provided my own, and the advantage that I was discussing that if you are providing that token inside this Docker, then in that case it will remain protected. Why? Because it is an isolated container. Now if you read this blog, then you will understand that the catalog solves common MCP server challenges, which is the environment conflicts. Tool often needs specific runtimes that may clash with existing setup. So if you see, let me show you that. Here you see that previously, if you want to run the GitHub MCP, then in that case, we wrote in this way, like command npx, and this is the argument that we provided. So to run this or to use this GitHub MCP, we install the node in our machine, and after that we use this npx command. Okay, but if there is a node version issue, in that case anyone can face a problem. Okay, so Docker MCP actually solves that problem, and this is called environment conflicts problem solved. And another one is the lack of isolation. Traditional setup risks exposing the host system. What I was mentioning, that if you provide your token directly to this JSON file, then in that case you are exposing your personal token to a third-party software, right? We should not do that, right? So this Docker MCP server actually solves that problem, and all obviously this setup complexity, manual installation and configuration result in slow adoption. Okay, here we don't have to do any manual configuration, and inconsistency across platforms. Tool may behave unpredictably on different operating systems. So suppose you are using this GitHub MCP and with a specific node version, and you have seen that it is working fine, and but whenever another person is using in their machine, he has seen that it is not working correctly. So this Docker MCP server is actually solves that problem because it runs as a self-contained container, so it is portable, isolated and consistent, and you can launch tools instantly using the Docker desktop that I am using and that I am showing here. So what I have done that in my Docker desktop, I have turned on this GitHub, this MCP, and now if I go to my cursor account, here you see that this 51 tools enabled instantly. Okay, and now if you want to add any other MCP, that also you can do that. So just go to the search option, and let's say you want to add the context 7. So just turn on this context 7 and it will be added. Okay, and here you will see that currently this context 7 and this GitHub official both MCP are running, but I have not done the manual setup for this two MCP separately. I have done only one setup, and with that one setup I have turned on, or I am using this two MCP. Not only these two, I can turn on any of these MCP, let's say Atlassian or this AWS or any other things. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. Now the problem is that if you go to this MCP client, there only cursor and this cloud desktop and continue.dev is available. Now if you want to use this feature in WindServe or VS Code, how will you be able to do that? So let's say for VS Code, so here you see below they have given one comment. Okay, so copy this comment and now go to your VS Code. Okay, now I have already added some of the MCP in my JSON file. So what I will do that I will remove all of this MCP from here so that you can see in live that what actually happening. So I'm removing this context 7, this task master. Okay, I have already made a video on this task master, right? So if you have not watched this video till now, please watch that. On this channel you will find all of these videos with transparency. Okay, so please make sure you subscribe this channel to get all of these knowledges. Now here you see currently I have not added any of the MCP servers, and my copilot chat is also open. Now if I click on this configure tools, and here you will not find any MCP servers currently. Okay, now I have copied this comment from this Docker desktop. Okay, now go to this VS Code and install this Copilot chat extension. I have already shown you this. Go to this extension marketplace and type this Copilot, and you will get this GitHub Copilot extension. Just install this. Okay. Now after that, in this Copilot, in this chat option box, you will find this configure tool. Follow my cursor. Beside this voice chat, you will find this configure tool. Click on it, and after that scroll down below, and here you will find this add more tool. Click on it, and here click on this add MCP server and select the first one, because we will run the command that we got from this Docker desktop, right? So again, let me do this and select this add more tool and add MCP server, and select the first one, this command stdio. Select it and paste that command that we have copied from the Docker desktop. Now press enter, and now here it is showing that my MCP server. Now press enter, and now you want to store it in the user setting or workspace settings. I will recommend you to run it in the user settings, and now press enter, and here you see that it got added in this settings.json. How to do the setup with the wind serve? Here you see, go to this wind serve, and my MCP configuration is empty. Currently there is no MCP added in wind serve. And now to add this MCP in wind serve, I have provided one JSON in description. So just go there and copy this, and go to this wind serve, and here inside this MCP underscore configuration JSON, how will you open this JSON file? So follow my cursor. Here under this chat box, you will find this MCP server icon. So click on it, and after that click on this configure, and here you see you will find this, and now click on this view raw config, and you will find this JSON file. Now here paste that JSON that I have provided in description. Now paste it, save it, and after that here you see that currently it is showing 0 available MCP server. Now let me refresh it, and here you see 1 available MCP server and 51 tool, because I have turned on the GitHub MCP and that context 7 MCP. That is why it is showing 51 tool. Now here you see all of the tools it is currently showing, and also it provides the active security. Here you see security at runtime is enforced through resource and access limitations. CPU allocation, MCP tools are run in their own container. So if you see this image, here you see this is a Docker, and it is MCP, means the GitHub MCP that they have currently showing here, it is running inside their own container, and also these tools are there. Okay, and they are restricted to one CPU, limiting the impact of potential misuse of computing resources. Memory allocation, containers for MCP tools are limited to 2 GB. And file system access, by default MCP servers have no access to the host file system. The user explicitly selects the servers that will be granted file mounts. This is actually great. And there is a passive security also. Image signing and attestation, all MCP server images under this MCP in the catalog are built by Docker and digitally signed to verify their source and integrity. Each image includes a software bill of materials SBOM for full transparency. Means all of the MCPs that you are currently seeing in this GitHub MCP toolkit, it is actually so that means the MCP that you will find under this MCP server in this Docker MCP toolkit, all of these are safe and there is no issue. These are actually a verified MCP server that they have listed down. And in this search option, just search this MCP and press enter, and you will find many videos. So I will recommend you to watch this video, VS Code agent plus MCP, and you will get the idea. Okay, and also there are many videos regarding this MCP, right? Like tray plus MCP, and this tempo labs plus MCP server, and this cursor taskmaster. So please don't forget to watch that videos also. You will find many information.